Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and today I'm going to be doing the Try a Chapter tag. I was tagged in this by Emily from Novel Novels. I'm going to pick a random number generator, and so I have on my Goodreads list of, I have an owned shelf on Goodreads, which is basically all the books that I own, and I currently have 483 unread books on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 5 random numbers, and those random numbers will correlate to the numbers on my Goodreads shelf, and they're the books that I'm going to read the first 5 chapters of. So let's do the first random number. The first number that I've randomly chosen is 164. So the 164th book on my shelves, or on my Goodreads shelf, is A Touch of Frost by R.D. Wingfield. This is the second book in the Inspector Frost series. I read the first one, Frost at Christmas, probably like a year ago. I really enjoyed the TV series A Touch of Frost. I really love it, and this is the book that it's all named after. I don't really know specifically about this one, but it basically follows a kind of grumpy detective inspector, Jack Frost, who is kind of, he's a bit slap-hazard. He doesn't really do the kind of things he's supposed to do, shall we say, but I actually really love his character, and he's really funny, so I'm really interested actually to read this and see if I'm going to continue. I should say the book that I choose to read will be hopefully part of my May TBR, and I'm going to try and get it into my wheel rather than like having it as a separate book, because oh my god, I have a lot to read in May. But yeah, that's the first one. The second number we have generated is 177, and number 177 is actually a book that I have. It's called The Hanged Man by Simon Koenig, sorry, but I don't have the first book in the series. It's number 2, so I'm not going to be able to read that one at the moment, especially because I can't actually get hold of the first book without ordering it, and I just don't want to do that right now. So I've gone for 178, and it is Never Never by James Patterson and Candice Fox. This is the first book in a new series that I haven't read any of. This is Detective Harriet Blue series. This follows Detective Harriet Blue, who needs to get out of town. Her brother is under arrest for a series of brutal murders in Sydney, and her chief wants her to get as far away from the press as possible, so he assigns her a new case in the middle of the outback. And it's 3 people have disappeared, and it's up to her to track them down. And yeah, I'm really interested. I love James Patterson, as you probably know. I've really enjoyed his books with Candice Fox in the past, and I would really like to continue and read some more of his writing. So yeah, this is definitely one I'm excited about. Okay, the third number that we've generated is 167. God, they're all in the early 100s, aren't they? So let's see what it is that we have for that one. So hopefully the book that I just picked for that one was going to be Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. However, I'm doing a buddy read of that in June with Emily. So I'm not gonna do that one today because I don't want to read it in May. Excuse me. So it would defeat the point of that. However, the next one was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which is one I'm really excited to read. This was on my to read or TBR last year, and I never actually got to it. But I've heard really good things about this. This is about a man named Jason Desson, who gets a knock at the door, and the last words he hears before somebody knocks him unconscious is, "Are you happy in your life?" And then he wakes up on a gurney and finds himself surrounded by strangers, and somebody says, "Welcome back." And then he realizes that his life is not what he remembers. His son has not been born, his wife is no longer his wife, he doesn't work in the same job that he did, and things are just a little bit strange. This is kind of sci-fi thriller, I believe, and I've really been wanting to read this one. So yes, this one is one I'm really excited about. Then our fourth random number is 155. It is really like in the 100s, I'm not gonna lie. So let's have a look and see what 155 is. So 155 is actually a book on my Kindle, and it is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, which is a book I've heard quite a lot about, but I don't actually know what it's actually about. I just know a lot of people have talked about it. So I'm definitely interested to read the first sort of chapter of this one. And yeah, maybe that will be the one I pick, but who knows? I will obviously give it a go. And then the last number that I'm going to randomly generate is 345. So the next one I've got is actually an arc that I was sent by NetGalley, and it's called Keeper by Jessica Moore. I don't know too much about it, but it came out in March. It's a thriller, and I'm going to read the description for you. So it says, he's been looking in the windows again, messing with cameras, leaving notes. Supposed to be a refuge, but death got inside. When Katie Straw's body is pulled from the waters of the local suicide spot, the police decide it's an open and shut case, a standard issue female suicide. But the residents of Widdringham Women's Refuge, where Katie worked, don't agree. They say it's murder. Will you listen to them? An addictive literary page-turner about a crime as shocking as it is commonplace. Keeper will leave you reeling long after the final page is turned. So that sounds super interesting. Again, these are books. All 5 of these are books that I am really interested in reading. So what I'm going to do is I will read the first chapter of each, and then I will come back to you and let you know what I think of them. Yeah, a little bit later on. Hey guys, so I have just read the first chapter of A Touch of Frost by R.D. Wingfield. This was really gripping, and it was 18 pages, but it went by quite quickly, and I genuinely really want to know what happens next. This, I don't want to say too much, but then I suppose it's not really a spoiler for the others because each one is a separate case. So this follows, it kind of starts off with somebody who's like a predator who is looking... who's basically looking for a young girl. He sees a young girl walking past in the dark, and he is obviously trying, you know that he's trying to essentially kidnap her and hurt her in some way. And then it moves on to another part where they find a police constable finds a junkie basically in the drain of a public toilet, and then you get Jack Frost, who kind of officially comes on. He's desperately trying to get to a leaving party for George Harrison, who is somebody I love in the first book, and yeah, it goes from there. I am absolutely loving this book so far. I really like this one. This is definitely one I would love to read next month, but we'll see how the other books go. Hey guys, so I've now read the first chapter of Never Never by James Patterson and Candice Fox. It was only actually 2 pages, but I didn't want to read any more because the chapters are just really short in the book in general, and I wouldn't know where to stop really. So I decided just to go with the first 2 and figure out as like a little taster. What's happening at the moment in this is not anything to do with what's written on the back, as far as I can tell. It follows a man called the Soldier. You don't get any more description than that. He's just the soldier, and he seems to be terrorizing someone who he's calling the traitor. And it seems like there's a camp. It's definitely set out in the desert. There's a camp of some kind, which seems to it's hard to explain. There's a camp that seems to have a weapon trained on it somewhere, and potentially that he's going to do something. I don't know what the weapon is. I don't know what the camp is. I don't really understand what's going on. This is definitely not going to be the pick that I choose. I definitely do want to read more James Patterson, as I've said. This is definitely a series I'm interested in. I obviously didn't get very much of what this was about. I just started it. I don't really know where the soldier thing comes in terms of the plot on the back of the book. So I'm going to say this is not going to be the one. At the moment I'm still leaning towards A Touch of Frost. That's definitely the one I'm going for out of the 2, but I'm obviously going to keep reading and then I'll let you know. Okay, so I've just read the first chapter of Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which is 36 pages, so it's quite a long one, but oh my god, I'm so excited about this. This sounds so interesting. From what I've read in the first chapter, it's about a family guy who basically something completely strange happens. I almost don't even want to say what happens. I know I've probably mentioned it in the description and stuff, but I don't really want to say anything else because I would give it away. And I just feel like it's one of those ones which so far the writing is already drawing me in. I cannot wait to find out what happens. The family at the beginning, like the very first bit, I absolutely love them. They just really already jump off the page as characters to me. So yeah, so far this is definitely the one I'm going to go for. But I'm going to try my 2 Kindle ones now and see if any of them can knock this off the top spot. Okay guys, so I just read the prologue to the Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan, which I loved. It's such a funny and like great start, and it's just like kick it to the man. I love it. Basically the prologue at least is about a family of relatively well-to-do sort of rich Asians, I guess, who go to the Calthorpe Hotel, and they booked a room in a big suite there. And when the kind of manager or whatever of the hotel turns up, he is incredibly racist and essentially tells them that they can't stay in that room because it's already been booked, even though they've booked it, because he doesn't want their sort in the hotel. And basically throughout, long story short, they managed to basically, the family essentially end up buying the hotel from the owner, and then coming back and firing the man, which is amazing and very funny and great. I kind of can't wait to read the rest of it. I'm unsure now whether I want to read Dark Matter or Crazy Rich Asians. I'm going to continue and read The Keeper, or Keeper even, by Jessica Moore, and read that one and see if that's also in the running, and then I will make a decision about the two other ones. Okay, and then I finally read the last one, which was Keeper by Jessica Moore. I'm interested by this one, but it's not necessarily jumped out at me. So far we've seen a lady named Katie who has gone out with her girlfriends basically for the night, and she meets or sees a guy named Jamie there, and they meet up for the fact they've not met before, but they decide to try things and see what happens. And yeah, it sounds intriguing, but it's not really gripped me yet. I don't really think that anything particularly exciting has happened in it. It is well written and I would like to read it at some point, but I don't think that this is going to be the time. So I think it's between Dark Matter by Blake Crouch and Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I have made a decision based on the fact that Crazy Rich Asians is a really long book, and it's on my Kindle, which is not, I do read it tend to read it quicker, but I'm trying to read some physical books as well, because I feel like I'm not reading as many physical books at the minute. So I'm going to go with Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I'm going to try and get this onto my Wheel of TBR, depending obviously on how nice it is to me. And who knows, I might even try and get Crazy Rich Asians on there as well. So yeah, that is definitely the one I'm going to go for. So look out for this on my May TBR, because hopefully I will manage to fit this in somewhere. If not, it'll just have to be added to the TBR in general. But there you are, that is what I have chosen. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if there's any others you want me to do, or if you want me to do another Try a Chapter tag. But yeah, I will see you all guys next time for another video. Bye guys.